and she didn't die. It's a recent award-winning documentary directed by Kethiwe Ngcobo that celebrates the life of her mother, Lauretta Ngcobo, a South African activist and feminist writer, where the film uses family archives, public records, and just reenactments to tell Loretta's story from her activism to her life in exile, positioning a narrative as a form of resistance. So this film, it's been selected to screen at the MIP Africa's inaugural doc night. The director, Kethiwe, now joins us on the line to share a little bit more. Kethiwe, on that note, a very good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, good morning. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm fantastic. I can hear you're even, more fantastic given what's been on offer and how it's been received. And so also a hearty congratulations, because this was a personal project, turning the lens into your mom's life. And I mean, talk to us about that journey and why you decided to take on this project.
Well, my mother passed away in 2015, and I decided that I really needed to tell her story. And she was a writer, and she was a political activist, and in 1963 she left the country because she was a courier and couriering information, and the security police nearly caught her. So she left. And she went on to become this writer, this kind of very important South African writer. And I wanted to tell that story from a woman's story across all this politics and activism into feminism, into writing. So I just wanted to record her like that.
Wow, her story lives on, of course. It's now been etched in archives, given how you've, developed all of this. And, it's such an ode to her as well. And just because it's her own daughter telling the story, right? What value do you think that also added to the process and how it's connecting to the audiences?
Well, I think that's one of the key things.
Yes.
Excerpts of me and her at different points during the documentary, talking about various things, but see our relationship. And one of the things about the film is it's self-reflexive. So you also see the notion of making the film as well. So it comes across as this journey into the past, from a present into a future. So it really passes through time and memory. And memory is one of the big things about the film. Yes. So I'm remembering her and her past, reading her work. So it's a very complex film, but very easy to go through, to watch.
Yes, to your point, memory is important, what we choose to remember and what we choose to forget as well. And, even you as her own daughter, I mean, looking at her illustrious life journey, her life in exile, information and details that you wouldn't have known, right, prior to working on the film. What was unearthed for you? How healing was that process for you, to have more context about her life?
Well, I think one of the most healing processes of this journey was discovering that that storytelling goes through our whole family lineage, and it goes back 4 or 5 generations. And that was one of the most important things. So that my great-great-great-grandmother was an oral poet, and she wrote this poetry about our family. And then my great-great-grandmother was a poet. And so it just goes through, and now she was a writer, and now I'm a filmmaker. So the story lineage of being storytellers is really quite important. One of the most precious things that I found. Wow,
that's the gift that's been handed down to your family, and thank you for sharing with us, that with the world, because a gift is meant to be shared, and it doesn't happen in isolation. It's about tapping into her memory, her life experiences, all the people she would have collaborated with, or who've been affected. But there's also people along the value chain who would have put some of those pieces together. What was that process like? Who helped you complete all of this?
Oh, I had a fantastic team. I had great DOP, Francesca Biagini, Shelley Masondo, who worked on Shaga. She was the costume designer for the reenactment. I mean, there were so many people. Ayanda Holomani, she helped me with the script. Yeah, and we had so many people who were, and we also had. Oh, sorry.
No. It's look, I know that words sometimes don't encapsulate everything and all, what you're going through. And so congratulations, because it's not taking a life of its own. You've got multi-awards. You've got the 2025 Encounters South African International Documentary Festival. You've got MIP Africa's inaugural doc night as well. How do you celebrate that? What does that mean for you at large as well?
Well, I think it's really important that the film gets out there and this family story becomes an international story. And I think that it's really important to be part of a global market in storytelling and telling our stories so that other people can access them and access that South African history and experience.
Well, you're adding to the world story through your own lens and obviously asserting our agency to all of that. And so thank you for that service as well. And I wonder, I mean, if people are interested in watching the movie, how do they also go about seeing it as well and supporting the work?
Yes, so it's on this Tuesday at the Labia in Cape Town at 1800. You can buy the tickets on web tickets. Yeah.
Okay, and perhaps staying in touch with you, also following your journey. I mean, where to from here? How do you continue to have her memory told through this work now that it's obviously been received so well?
I'm hoping it goes through other festivals around the world.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that it will go to festivals in South Africa, and then we'll broadcast it, but that will be in about a year or so after it's done its festival journey.
All right, it's a long journey. Well, thank you for your time at this hour, and then thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for also honoring your mom's legacy there. A personal film about political revolutionary, of course, turned feminist writer Lauretta Ngcobo. We were just chatting to her daughter Kethiwe there about the direction and just really how well it's been received as well. This Women's Month, we're looking at many women flying the flag high.